When did I even invent that dunk? That would be hard to say. I'd have to go back into the archives and look at dates and then really pinpoint.
More or less. Surely it must have been at the very beginning.
Oh yeah, it was near the beginning of my my career. So I'd say I was about 19. So that would be 2000 and what is that? 2009 maybe something around those areas. Like it's really hard to say where exactly I started out and where it came from. I was messing around in the gym with a couple of my friends, just dribbling around and fiddling with the ball, and I jumped up and put the ball under my legs once, and I was just messing around like, hey, that could probably be done as a dunk. A couple of my friends started talking. They're like, oh, that's not possible. It's talking their smack as usual. So right in the middle of the game, it stopped for a second, and I went and attempted it, and I back rimmed it the first time I ever tried it. So I knew it was possible. From then, I hit it the second time, then I hit it the third time, and the fourth, and since then I've been just tweaking it and adding different variations. To me, under both legs it's difficult depending on what variation you're doing. Because to me, under both legs is 1,000 times easier than behind the back. To be honest, under both legs to me is easier than doing like a double up, like jumping over like a 7-foot guy and putting between the legs is easier. Is actually harder to me than under both legs. Yeah, I watched the dunk. I was actually quite impressed when I seen it because he did it clean. There was no real issues. I'm just impressed that he actually looked online and found that dunk or found something. I actually believe that the main reason right now that a lot of these street dunks are actually creeping into the NBA is because a lot of the guys that are actually creeping it into the system grew up watching us or grew up around the younger generation that's into the more online based stuff and looking into stuff. So now when they go to the league, they haven't given that up. So now they're still on YouTube or doing their thing, and they're finding dunkers out there that do this for a living. And now they're trying the things on NBA courts, now putting it on an NBA stage. I honestly personally think NBA players bringing our dunks on the NBA stage is a double-edged sword. I think it's good because people that know dunking or people that are curious will find out that it's ours. Versus the negative side is now they're claiming it as theirs. A lot of our dunks are now being claimed as NBA players because they were the first on a live stage to do it, but we've been doing it for like the last decade. So it like I said, it's like a double-edged sword. To be honest, anybody that imitates almost any dunk, people are gonna talk about it in a negative sense. They're gonna say, oh, the credit's not there. As long as the person that's not bold-faced gave the credit, there will always be talk, negative and positive. So I don't really know these NBA guys personally. I don't know if they're arrogant in the sense where they'll claim it as their own. I can't speak for them, but I feel a chunk of them would admit that they got these things from online, because even if they were to lie about it, the evidence is out there. So I feel like most of them would, because they couldn't really lie about it because there's too much evidence. Like some of these dunks have been done before they were even in the league. So it's like, it's hard to really argue that. So, fans do blow it out, and they will. I actually kind of like it in the sense that it shows that they care that our stuff is being out there in the NBA, and they respect that we should get the respect as well from these NBA guys. So I'm happy about that. I don't personally believe that anyone that thinks of a dunk can be the inventor of the dunk. It doesn't make any sense. Anyone can think of something. It's about actually doing it. It's like someone could say, oh, I have an invention, it's called a car, it drives, and you could tell about it, but it means nothing to that guy that actually built the car. You can think of it, but it means nothing to this actually done. I had it just basically straight up, under both legs. Then I added the 360 version to it clockwise. Then eventually I added it off a lob. Then I did the counterclockwise. Then a couple other guys started to imitate it and add their own variations as well. Then we added also under both legs over somebody. That was probably maybe the hardest variation in my eyes, maybe next to the cartwheel under both legs. So it's really hard to pinpoint really what's the hardest as well, but there's quite a few variations to it. I don't know, there's something about like the 3-point line, the free throw line dunks, they're nice and everything, but I guess they're kind of been done in a sense. There's a lot of people that have kind of done that, yet the under both legs, literally to most people, that's the first time they've ever seen that done. A lot of people could have said, oh, I've seen a couple people jump from the free throw line, or I've heard of it. Versus this under both legs over somebody a lot of people didn't know existed. So them, it's a brand new invention, and it's opened their eyes to a lot of different areas. The hardest variation for me personally would probably be the cartwheel under both legs, because I've only hit it like 3 times.
Okay.
I've tried it quite a few times, but I can't really get it consistent yet. Well, if anyone really knows my cartwheel dunk, I place the ball on the ground, I do a round off cartwheel. As I'm doing the round off, I pick up the ball and dunk it. Well, the only variation to that now is when I pick it up and I'm about to dunk it, I would place the ball under both legs first before I finish it. So it's a little extra to something that already has a lot of parts in it. So it makes it difficult because too many pieces have to be perfect. Yeah, I'd say it's more like you, after the cartwheel, it's more like you're going under both legs off a drop step. You have maybe a one step amount of power, basically. Well, there's a lot of dunk contests that the best dunk and the best dunk by someone isn't always the winner. Because sometimes the best dunks are done by somebody, but it's all about points and being smart in a dunk contest. So sometimes the best dunker doesn't always win the contest. So it's really up in the air. But yeah, he personally had the best dunk by most people's standards, really. Me personally, from seeing his leaping abilities, how he did the under both over something, I feel like his strong points would be in my other dunks and my different dunks in my repertoire versus the cartwheel. I don't know if has any gymnastics background or if he was a kid that used to do a lot of flips. Without that, it's very difficult to just start doing a round off. But from his leaping abilities and his ability to even just go under his legs, I feel he could do the reverse as well as the 360. Yeah, I believe that media is really the next things us as dunkers need to secure, because we've had the hype with the fans that search for us. Now we gotta find ways to push our media to people that don't search for us, the people that don't really see us because they're not really completely interested in that world, but they would still be interested in seeing it. So we need to push it to everyone now. I personally think that dunking has endless potential. Curling is in the Olympics. How much people even say the word "I can't wait till the curling comes down," or the curling game or anything, and it's in the Olympics. If dunking can't make it to the Olympics, I don't know what's going on in this world. Personally, curling is in the Olympics. I'm picking on curling specifically because that's one of the sports I can't think of that's exciting, like that's in the Olympics at all, in any way of the word. This year is gonna be, it could be a really good year if the hype is used, like I said, properly. You know, there's a lot of hype from last year when we did our thing. You know, this year the dunk contest has picked up a lot of dunks that we also do and portray. There's a lot of us been working with the NBA closer now this year, so I feel like this year it could go either way. We don't really know what it is, but I feel like Dunk League is just gonna go forward in a positive manner in some way. We just don't know how far ahead. I feel that with this now, this hype and this talk about the dunk, I feel it could be beneficial to the dunkers as well if we use the hype properly. If we take this hype that everyone's talking about, it's the best dunk they've ever seen, or that they're hyping it up like, you know, no one else can do this. If we can take that same energy and spin it towards us and use it in a positive manner to get our name out there, it could be very beneficial to Dunk League.